We must stand for Nigeria.
I believe, Nigeria.
I'm wishing on a star to take me where you are. I'm wishing on a dream, no matter how far it seems. Everywhere I go, to see the love and flow, in unity to stand forth, from south up to the north. Only when there's love can there be no cause to fight. Only when we fear God can everything be alright. You're my brother, take my hand, and everything will be alright.
Stand together now, stand for the truth. Without the problem, down from the roots. Pick up yourself now, pick up on youth. Anybody cause a problem now, make them kaput. Stand together now, people no fighting. One love is what we are preaching. Let's upgrade our understanding and stop this nonsense political doubting. Cause potential, demand capacity, let's walk the walking, let's show the world. Say our head, yeah. Let's stand up for something, fight for the right thing, for whatever, moving for the future. Cause I believe in this entity called Nigeria. I believe.
Peace and unity. One Nigeria.
One nation, great people. One nation, great people.
We should live like sister and brother. Find a way to love each other. One love, one life, one Nigeria. If we stand as one Nigeria, unity will only make us stronger. Don't let them divide us any longer. Cause there are no bad tribes, only bad people. No north and south, good versus evil. Only when there's love can there be no cause to fight. Only when we fear God can everything be alright. Cause at the end of the day, we're one and the same. Can everything be alright?
One nation, great people.
You're my brother, take my hand.
Can everything be alright?
We are calling you, calling you. The nation is calling you. Nigeria is calling you, calling you. Look at our nation tearing apart.
Sounds of war everywhere. The youngest are crying, no protections. Just one station leads to frustration. But only you, God, can help our land. Help us, Jesus. Help us. Calling you, calling you, calling you. The nation is calling you. We are calling you, calling you. They promised us security, yeah. Yet we dey sleep with our two eyes open. And Allah say our hospital dey well. Yet when they sick, then go to Europe. Eating our local rice, no be bad thing, no be bad thing. But she our leaders, then they follow us chop 'em. Frustrations everywhere, hunger everywhere, no work, nothing at all. We are calling you, nation is calling you. Father, we are calling you, calling you.
Arise, O Nigeria. Let the labor of our heroes past not be in vain. Arise, arise.
Jehovah, we call your name. Ninja people, they call your name. Jehovah, we call your name. We no get any place to go. Jehovah, we call your name. You fit on our tears to joy. Jehovah, we call your name. Ninja people, they call your name. Oh.
Jehovah, we call your name. Ninja people, they call your name. Jehovah, we call your name. We don't get any place to go. Jehovah, we call your name. You fit on our tears to joy. Jehovah, we call your name. Ninja people, they call your name. Oh.
Me, I don't come to talk, oh. You must do my own, oh. Nana Njamata, bring me come. My fatherland, take for kata kata. Suffer too much. Jehovah change the status quo. Ewo, Jehovah change the status quo. Jehovah, we call your name. Ninja people, they call your name. Jehovah, we call your name. We not get any place to go. Jehovah, we call your name. You fit on our tears to joy. Jehovah, we call your name. Ninja people, they call your name. Oh. See the bandits, they come, oh. I been a Boko Haram, oh, ewo. Na so bombings, time they rain, and like it all gate and for white paper, kill it too much. Jehovah change the status quo. Ewo, Jehovah change the status quo. Jehovah, Jehovah, we call your name. Niger people, they call your name.
It's a beautiful Tuesday morning, and of course, it's a great day because it's the first day of the month of November. And I must tell you that we are excited to be back here again with you. The Ember Month started just about 60 days plus ago, and then we're just in November, just like that. I mean, wasn't it yesterday 2022 started? In 2022, we're already in the 11th month. I think for all of Nigerians, we need to be grateful. We need to be thankful. Some of the negative prophecies that were released in the early part of the year did not come true, and God has still sustained us as a country thus far. I mean, we should be thankful also that the spate of insecurity has also reduced drastically. The kidnapping stories here and there has also dropped drastically, even though there is a terror alert, of course, that we're dealing with as a country right now. But I remember earlier in the year we had the kidnapping of 20, kidnapping of 50, kidnapping of this, kidnapping of that. And yesterday, Daily Trust newspaper brought up a topic, a report where only 12 people remain in captivity, one from the Bethel girls and the other one from 11 from the, I'm talking about the bandits now, not Boko Haram. So for some reason, I think we should be grateful as a country, while we are also being very, very sincere with ourselves that something is still not right with our security apparatus or whatever it is that we're doing to tackle insecurity in the country. Something is not peaking well yet. So of course, there are pockets of violence here and there across the world. But that's not to say that we shouldn't strive for normalcy when it comes to our own security. My name is Oluwatomisi. This is the Bumper Breakfast. And you know, when we come, we have the beautiful, the handsome joining me on the show. And they'll be feeling cool, feeling bright, feeling... What's your feeling like?
I think someone is still in the spirit of the birthday. Look at
She escaped yesterday. She didn't come. We were supposed to do the happy birthday to you.
I think we're supposed to organize a saxophone, organize all of that. It's not too late anyway.
You're 2 days too late. You're 2 days too late.
Happy birthday.
in arrears. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you on the show.
Yeah.
You're still looking like a birthday girl. You're still feeling like the birthday girl.
Entering a new month, celebrating your birthday, I mean, that's a very beautiful one at that.
Honestly.
So happy birthday, happy new month.
Thank you.
And a happy new month to all of you.
Yeah. I must say that I'm most grateful to God, year in, year out. I would say that in the past, since I had my 45th birthday, it's like God just took me to a new era in my life, and it's kept on getting better. It kept on getting better, and most importantly, this year I feel so fulfilled. It's been from day one of last month to the last day. It's been philanthropy back to back, and you see. Most importantly, God gave me the grace to do it conveniently. I didn't have to struggle for anything. I didn't have to, run helter-skelter for anything. And I tell you, it gives me joy to know that I can impact positively into the lives of people. Honestly, that's my greatest.
And I think
joy.
I was a part of one of the events, and it was really highly impacting. So you have every reason to be grateful to that.
It's one of my greatest joy. And I must say this morning, I must say a very big thank you to Denise Fashion Boutique somewhere around the day. She dressed me up this morning. She actually had to give me this birthday gift.
And of course, this is
yes, Denise.
How's that she's looking at it?
Denise Boutique, Denise Fashion. I say a big thank you to you for dressing me up this morning.
I mean, I walked into the studio this morning to Missy, and I was like, "Who is this?" You know,
delectable young.
You understand?
Honestly, she surprised me. I walked into her shop and she just said, "Oh, come and put this on." I said, look, I'm not in the mood to buy clothes today. I'm not in the mood to buy clothes. And she just said, just test it. Just, in my wildest imagination, I never thought, she was going to give me, a birthday present. So when I wore it, I said, "Oh my God, this is beautiful. I'm tempted. I don't want to buy you, but it's like you're tempting me." She just said, "Happy birthday." I said, "What?" So this morning, thank you, Duni's Boutique. She's somewhere inside Aladdin.
And to all our
Aladdin
viewers
Markets.
out there marking their birthday, celebrating their birthday this month, happy birthday. From all of us right here on the Bumper Breakfast Show. Happy birthday to all November.
Your name is?
My name is Kayode.
Let's take a look at the top stories in the papers.
But before we go
morning.
into the top stories of the paper, we need to tell our viewers, for the sake of those that are traveling into Lagos or outside Lagos, services are being disrupted a little bit. Well, to what extent we cannot say right now at the MM2, because some of the staff, they have gone on strike. They are challenging their employers of sacking their staff in a way that is not appropriate. So you might need to reschedule your flight or just know what's going on.
But just know that you're going to have it. You're not going to have it easy.
Yes.
You're not going to have it easy when you get there. Meaning that the conveyor belts.
I'm talking about the security threat about Abuja. The minister,
because it's in the news,
the minister actually came out to say that.
That's in the news already. Yeah, that's already in the news. All right, Ika Kenny, let's take a look at the stories in the papers this morning so that we can quickly run. Our time is almost fast spent. We have the Nation newspaper, and we'll be taking that story, of course, that Ika Kenny just mentioned, where the Minister of Defense, Mugashi, we'll be taking that in the news report. You get to listen to him. President Muhammadu Buhari presided over that meeting before he left the country yesterday.
I think it was the foreign affairs minister that came out to make a statement.
All right, the Nation newspaper this morning will have the banner headline: Tinubu, Adebanjo under fire over Southwest stand. He's on his own, says YCE General Secretary. Fashion motive remains a Fenifere leader. How Lekki Port will boost economy by Sanwo-Olu. Federal government dismisses US-UK terror alert on Abuja. Actually, they didn't dismiss it. They just reassured Nigerians. I mean, we need to be careful.
We can't say that there's some sort of, because I heard him this morning saying it was just an unnecessary alarm, So you can say,
because they've actually gone ahead with some security experts from America to raid some places in Abuja and pick up some people and arrest some people.
At the same time, in as much as we're trying to calm down the mind of the citizens, we must also let them know that we should all be
vigilant.
It's
part of the things that we said.
Very important.
All right, let's take a look at the Nigerian Tribune before we go to the news recap, so that we can take some of the stories and listen from the horse's mouth what exactly was said.
Having with me this morning is the Nigerian Tribune with the lead story saying U.S. security alert needless. No cause for alarm. This coming from the NSA. Buhari leaves for medical checkup in UK. 1 year after Ikoyi building collapse, government yet to demolish 2 other towers. Mieti Allah least conditions for peace in troubled communities. And construction of $1.5 billion Lekki Port completed. Lekki Free Port Terminal takes over. Gunmen abduct 4 Ibadan-bound travelers in Ekiti State. 2 killed in fresh attack in Plateau State. And lastly, coming from the Nigerian Tribune, is they saying kidnappers bullet left skin deep wound on my head, says Agbaji XUIDVC.
Left a skin deep wound.
Yeah. It was a narrow escape.
It was indeed.
Okay. All right, the Punch newspaper, we still have the same story. Terror alert. Federal government reassures Nigerians, pushes back again. against the US and the UK. Foreign Minister to warn ambassadors against alarming advisories and terror alert irresponsible. Go about normal businesses. And that's coming from security chiefs. And Transcorp Hotel sets new security protocol. FCT police meet hotel operators. And the picture story this morning on the front page of the Punch newspaper talking about the strike by the
bus drivers
yesterday. Community stranded.
We saw some of them actually working yesterday.
Some were working there,
Maybe
but
later,
a
yes,
lot of
later
later in the
in the
day.
day.
Yes, yes.
But the early hours of the day was so all the streets were
It
empty.
seems
the
to
picture.
be as if they want to continue to do. I wasn't.
Yes.
I think it was supposed to be like 7 days.
Did you come from?
No, I didn't actually come from that accident this morning. But
so-
yesterday coming, some of them were still working.
All right,
So
but we
if you
also
want-
have an. Okay, you wanted to say?
Yeah, so maybe if you were on the street, if you're on the street this morning and you're maybe arriving at your workplace or arriving at your shop and you have witnessed what happened on the street, maybe commercial bus drivers worked or they didn't work, kindly call us on 08064738133. That's 08064738133. Let's find out exactly
Situation
if
report.
the situation is like out there.
And also, there's a protest. Marketers protest 185 per liter fuel, threatening strike. Oh my God! But we've been on this for quite some time now.
The marketers want to make more money. The difference between the difference between 170 and 185 means they are losing 15 naira per liter, which the federal government obviously is not going to make up.
And a very good
on
one
the
coming
subsidy.
from the presidency
back
is
and
saying
forth
don't
on
be
that.
partisan. Buhari counts. Please.
So please, don't the 2023 election.
All right, I think that's, do we have anything new? Okay, federal government exceeds loan target by 1.12 trillion naira, borrows 5.3 trillion naira.
I mean, there's something to look at. And now we're about
And
to
now you rest your case.
we're about to redesign the naira note, and we're still going to have to
No,
still
and you
borrow
know
to
that,
do
you see,
this.
there's a
We're still
controversy.
gonna have to borrow to do this.
Hello. Central bank does not need to borrow to do something.
Really?
I even want to come from the
They don't need to
angle
borrow.
of
They don't need to borrow to
So
visit. They have
we're getting that.
they have their money to do that. We have a print company now. Anyway,
what concerns me among in the midst of all of this is the controversy between the Minister of Finance, the presidency, and the CBN.
She coming out saying she wasn't briefed.
no, but we discussed that yesterday. No?
Yes.
We discussed that
I
yesterday.
think it's
So
still in the news today.
because
It's
the
still been
major
back and forth.
problem that we have, I think the Minister of Finance, it's all about coming to the media first, and I think that's it's not very nice. It's
No,
not
no.
very
Even though the CBN
responsible.
is-
The CBN governor is not an appointee of the Minister of Finance.
Of course.
He's an appointee of government, of the president.
For the CBN.
The federal government said the Buhari's office says they are aware. Buhari says he's aware, which means the guy sent a letter or had a meeting.
But
The president should have briefed.
The briefing is what we're talking about.
But I
That
think the ministry. We're not talking about the minister now. We're talking about the ministry.
He's not under the ministry. He's a parastatal. He's not even a parastatal. He's an agency on his own.
You know,
He stands
you know,
alone.
Yes, as much as it stands, I think that there's some communication.
There's a break in communication,
there's a-
and
that's
that
what I
break
was
in
looking
communication
for.
shouldn't have been
Yes,
dealt
it's a
with in the
break.
public sphere. The
And
minister
you
should
know-
have reached out and shouldn't have come out to the media to say, "I am not aware."
Tommy said this is
And then she said, "I'm not aware." The president that came out the next day and said,
I
"I'm
am
aware.
aware of it.
I am the one who employed both of you,
course.
and I am aware. You don't need to be aware. I am aware."
But Tommy said you
we should
you
learn-
should also know
we should
that
learn not-
this idea might not have seen the light of the day if it had probably gone wrong. So
The problem is
not revealing that
we
was
have-
intentional.
You think so?
I think so, and I want to believe.
What about the National Economic Council? The appointees of the president who are in charge of managing the economy. None of them have come out to say they're not aware.
Only
The CBN
Minister of
governor
Finance.
is also on
we
that
should-
panel.
I think
There
those.
must be a reason.
I would just. I would like us to conclude this discussion by saying that
Maybe there's a panel
those are the arm of affairs in this country. Should just please learn not to wash our
That
dirty
dirty
linen
in public.
Because
Because
that was
the world is
embarrassing.
watching.
That was
It's very
highly
annoying
embarrassing.
when you come out and then you
Highly
come out.
embarrassing.
It shows
There's no synergy.
it shows something is somewhere wrong. It's like father and mother, second wife, and all the others. But anyway, now still talking about the travel advisory as well. Let me just drop this as we go to the news recap. Okay, are you ready? Let me drop this as we go to the news recap this morning. I have tried to search through the media to see if the U.S. has given any advisory to Palestine to say Israel is going to attack you tomorrow, or there's going to be ISIS attack tomorrow, or say Syria, don't worry, the IS are going to attack tomorrow. And I've not seen the US issue such advisory. However, when there's crisis, they usually, weigh in to say this may escalate this way, may escalate this way. Why then would you come to the Nigerian public to say that there is a terror alert somewhere?
Exactly.
Why are you alarming our citizens for us? Why not go to the government and say, we got this information, we got this information? I mean, that information shouldn't have been in the public sphere. It's not even, they don't do that. They don't do that to their citizens in the US.
You see, what I would just say...
It's in fact, it's a discrepancy that should not be forgiven.
It's just like, you see, it's just like this adage that says, you are addressed the way you are dressed. I think it's the way we are dressed that we are being addressed.
And we should punish them for it.
No, we should should learn to begin to dress up properly. Because
even our people don't dress us up properly. Anyway, we're talking about that today and all that. But let's take a look at the news recap. President Muhammadu Buhari left the country yesterday for London for a medical checkup, and it's about the third he would be going for this year. He was out of the country to the United Kingdom in March. He was out of the country in July, and then November he's out of the country again. October 31st to be back the second week in November. I think that's just about it. Cloudy.
All right. This coming from the NSC, the National Security Council has assured Nigerians of adequate security despite latest terror attack, warning on the Federal Capital Territory, FCT. The government of the United States of America had warned their citizens residing or planning to visit Abuja that terrorist groups were threatening to carry out terror attack in Abuja, the nation's capital. Briefing newsmen on Monday after the National Security Council meeting, which was presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari at the State House, Abuja. National Security Advisor Babagana Monguno, Chief of Defense Staff General Lucky Rabo, Director General of the National Intelligence Agency NIA Ahmed Rufai, and Minister of Foreign Affairs Jeffrey Onyema assured Nigerians that there is no cause for alarm and that everything is under control.
And let's listen to them.
Also working with and engaging with.
The alert was targeted at the citizens of the United States residing in Nigeria in Abuja, not at the larger Nigerian society. Now, if that thing has cascaded to give a different impression, coloration, there's nothing anybody can do. The damage, whether it is intended or unintended, the damage has been done. People's minds have been, attuned to a state of insecurity, which is quite bad. There's nothing we can do. If the U.S. Embassy has gone out to give an advisory to its citizens and it has also affected other people. But what I want you to know is that the advisory was issued to their citizens. As far as we are concerned, our own citizens are not in peril.
Just to also indicate that, as mentioned by the National Security Advisor, to use the opportunity to assure Nigerians that the armed forces, the police, and other security agencies are working around the clock to ensure that lives and properties of Nigerians are protected. And so far, there's no cause for alarm, and Nigerians should go about their normal duties as the armed forces and all the security agencies are well poised to protect them accordingly.
The foreign missions within the country to ensure that whatever we do, whatever we say is constructive and should not in any way cause unnecessary alarm and in any way destabilize the country. So just to reassure the country that we are in full engagement with foreign partners and that the security, our security personnel and agencies are fully on top of the situation, and that they're really, as they have said, there's really no cause for alarm, and we want to push more for greater coordination and synergy with also our foreign partners, and make sure that cooperation with them is a constructive one and not an alarmist one.
Ryan, what do you have?
Okay, I think we're moving straight to Osun State now. It's
your state.
Okay, the Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Osogbo over the outcome of Osun State 2022 governorship election has adjourned sitting to today, which is the 1st of November for the hearing. The tribunal resumed for proper hearing on the petition filed by the APC and Oyetola against the PDP and Ademola Adeleke this Monday, but had to adjourn to the next day, which is taking place today, following issues raised and eventually agreement by councils to both parties on how documents will be tendered that will make proceedings seamless. Against this backdrop, Chairman of the Tribunal, Justice Tessie Kume, ordered councils to the petitioners to serve necessary documents to be tendered in the court to the defense counsel within 24 hours to allow them go through them before hearing. I think we want to hear them speak right now.
An objection taken to how we commenced, but as you would have observed, the court or the tribunal did not find anything wrong with what we had done. However, it was agreed among councils that we should, streamline the documents we want to tender so that it will ease the proceedings. We have prepared our own documents, and that's what we have given to them. They want to cross-check whether those documents tally with what, if they have any objection. If they have any objection, it doesn't stop the court from admitting those documents with liberty for whoever is not happy with it to do this or show this at the end of the day by writing a separate written address which would chronicle or articulate his objection.
They were to open their case today, but there were some preliminaries because the order of the tribunal was that 24 hours before any day of sitting, you should serve the other people, the other party, the list of witnesses and the pages where they appear in the documents you want to tender. And our position was that where we haven't been served, and though it was witnesses, it includes evidence and documents. The argument, that was the argument we had. And the tribunal said, all right, what we should do is that they should serve us with the documents which they want to tender so that we can have time to look at them. We'll come back tomorrow and then comment on those documents. The schedules have been submitted and we have been served. So that was what transpired today.
All right, this is very interesting this morning. Everybody is doing some measure of work in solidarity. And then yesterday, scores of hunters marched through the streets of Abeokuta and the roads to celebrate and stand in solidarity with the newly installed king, monarch, Oba-elect for Orile Lawo community in Odeda local government area of the state. Is a Canadian returnee, Alexander Olusegun McGregor. The Canadian returnee is also a professor. I like this thing. Almost all their kings are becoming professors and learn and educated, really influential.
They're taking over. They're taking over the academics from Ekiti State. You know, Ekiti State used to be known for that, where all their kings will be very learned and all right. He's a professor of clinical pharmacology, and he was selected and nominated to ascend the throne of Orile Lawo Stowe by the town's warrant chiefs as sponsored and appointed by the state government. The solidarity and thank you rally took off at the McGregor Foundation House in Breakfast Nov. Saw them have hunters, youths, young women join the Orile Lawo Alagbagba and its environment, chanting songs of appreciation to the people and the sectional monarchs for their laudable role. They took their entourage, to the palace of the Agura of Bagura. They took it next to the Olowu of Owu, Obasaka Matemilola. They took it next to the Oshile of Opionegba, Obadedapo Tejosho, before terminating it at the palace of the Alake of Egbaland, Wukeni IV, the paramount ruler of Egbaland, Oba Aremu Michael Adedotun Badibo.
We need to carry Oshile. We should end up everything here as the paramount ruler of Egba Kingdom. We learned that some people came here last week to denounce all that has happened. This is an official procedure. It's a procedure. There was an election that came up to elect a KBAC for us. We can't have a vacant stool. There must be somebody to fill the vacancy, and we need somebody who can do the job. You can see the crowd. You can see the people. You can see how happy the people are. They can do anything for another 24 hours to let you know that they support this man. They want this man to be their king. That is all we want. And
all right,
all right, let's take a look at the foreign news this morning, and that's taking us to the Ukraine war. Ukraine suffered sweeping blackouts and water supplies were cut for 80% of Kyiv's residents on Monday, after another wave of Russian missile strikes on key infrastructure. The Ukrainian army said more than 50 cruise missiles were launched at targets across the country, days after Russia blamed Ukraine for drone attacks on its fleet in the Black Sea. The army said many missiles were shot down by air defenses, but Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal said they had caused power cuts in hundreds of areas across 7 Ukrainian regions. Several blasts were heard in the capital, Kiev. In the West Kiev, an AFP journalist saw over 100 people waiting patiently to collect water from a park fountain after their supply was cut off by the Russian attack. All of them carried empty plastic bottles to be filled.
Okay, still on the Ukraine and Russia war, Kyiv Mayor Vitaly Klitschko has accused Russia of genocide and wanting to freeze people this winter. He was speaking after Russia launched a wave of missile attacks across the country, including the capital, where 2 explosions were heard. He said that right now this war has directly impacted civilian population. They want to make the people without heating, without water, without electricity in the winter. The UN Genocide Convention defines genocide as committing any of the following, with the intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group. There is no legal consensus on whether Russia is committing genocide in Ukraine.
Right, so let's go to Israel, another country where Israeli politicians are making their moves right now. The final campaign pitches Monday before the divided country holds its 5th election in less than 4 years, with the hawkish ex-premier Benjamin Netanyahu eyeing a comeback. The 73-year-old Likud party leader served as prime minister for longer than anyone else in Israel's history before he was ousted in June 2021 by the ideologically divided coalition, which was carefully crafted by the current Prime Minister, caretaker Prime Minister Yair Lapid. That motley alliance lasted only 1 year, triggering another vote on Tuesday today, which will see Netanyahu maybe and his party trying to, secure about 61-year seat, parliamentary majority in the 120 seat Knesset, as repeatedly alluded, and one of the reasons he was removed last year. The election comes in a year that has seen violence flare in the Israeli-Palestine conflict, with near daily clashes in the occupied West Bank also. Eddie?
We're moving on to sport this morning to all our Paul Pogba's fans. Paul Pogba will miss France's World Cup defense as he needs more time to recover from knee surgery. His agent announced on Monday. Rafaela Pimenta, in a statement, said that following yesterday and today's medical review in Torino and Pittsburgh, it's extremely painful to inform Paul Pogba will still need recovery time from e-surgery. Juve coach Massimiliano Allegri had already said on Friday that it was very unlikely that the 29-year-old midfielder would play for his team before Serie A breaks off for the World Cup. Italian media reported early on Monday that Paul Pogba could be out for around 15 days with a thigh injury. However, after returning to training early last month, Pogba changed his mind and opted for surgery, which kept him on the sidelines until 2 weeks ago, when he recommended partial training with Juve. Pogba was a key member of the France team that won the World Cup in Russia 4 years ago. He scored in 4-2 victory over Croatia in the final.
All right, that's it on our news recap this morning. We'll take a break. When we come back from this commercial, trust me, our first guest will be here when I say we're talking about something that has affected Nigeria for so long a time and may continue to affect us for the next few years.
Papa, mama, brother, sister, this Lagos must work for all of us. Everybody ja fun Eko.
Oh yes, Lagos people, papa, mama, sister, brother, auntie, plus including uncle them. Better don't land for Lagos State gidigba. Money wey be for Lagos State, then go use them for Lagos State. Wella, no more baba sope. They no go chop Lagos State money. Nobody go pocket Lagos State. Then go take and build Lagos State, build road, build hospital, build houses, and now only one man fit do this job. His name na Abdulaziz Olajide Adediran Jando. He can't carry one ogbonge person as the deputy governor. Her name na Funke Akindele. My people, what do we wait for? Make we vote for light, vote for change. No be the kind change where they vote before. This one na the original change. How Amumu don't do? Pay they pay.
Everybody ja fun Eko.
Killer dey outside. He dey waka.
Passion and ambition.
Look at the way my boss was looking at you.
I'm loving someone.
Incessant crime and deceit.
I tell you, your own death go worse past corridor.
400 council.
Intertwined in the corridors of power.
I know you killed GPT and set him up.
On and off the streets.
Hey, don't try to be smart with me. I'm an officer of the law.
Covenant. Showing weekdays at 8 p.m. WAT on Africa Magic Showcase.
Do you have continuity or association plan for your business?
Has anyone shared the concept of sustainability with you?
What about the need to protect the rights of minority shareholders?
What are those ingredients germane to having effective meetings?
For these and many more, tune into Corporate Governance Platform every Thursday on MITV, your darling station, on DSTV 255 and UHF 43 at 4:30 p.m.
Corporate Governance Platform is your best medium for informative and educative strategies for the practice of the corporate governance profession.
Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, the hub of governance profession.